Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. I don't know everything about this content creating stuff, but it's raining today, and I'm going to shoot this video anyway, because what I've learned is if people like your content, they're going to tune in regardless. So there's going to be a rain and a little bit of interference in the background. If it starts pouring down and storming, I may break this video up into pieces and do a minor edit later. All right. This is part 3 concerning communication. Repetition is the mother of skill, so I'll say it again. Plus, there may be people watching for the first time. When communication takes place, there's a sender, there's a receiver or an audience. That can be an audience of one or an audience of many. And that can be over a channel or face-to-face and anything in between. But whatever can disrupt that message is what you call interference. Now, with that being said, sometimes the audience literally is the interference. And sometimes you just talking and you need to stop talking. And sometimes young men or inexperienced men don't know when to stop talking. So let me give you some ideas or some situations where you should stop talking. Number 1, you aren't prepared. You haven't sat down and thought about what you're going to say, or you're frantic yourself. You don't really have the knowledge base. It's in your heart, but not quite in your head just yet. It used to be like that with me in ministry work. So you need to take time to prepare yourself with whatever that may entail. You may need some time to calm down. You may need to get some sleep. You may need to be in a different place, whatever the case may be. But preparation does matter. And the more important the message, unless you are well versed in something to where you can speak on it at length without preparation time, you should prepare. But that means you've been preparing your whole life at that point, because your life's work, if you notice, well, maybe you don't notice, a lot of these videos, I don't write notes for all of them, because these are things I talk about with my students on a daily basis. These are things I know. These are things I believe. This comes from years of ministry work, coaching, being an educator, and being an assistant principal and a principal, and being a managing member of a corporation. 2, you don't have the proper credentials. You got some people who that's going to matter to. If they outrank you, they may not want to hear what you have to say. This is important in your work. If you're at your job, you can't tell your supervisor what they should be doing. Now, if they ask you, that's fine. If there's a suggestion box, just understand, if they figure out that's your handwriting, you may see yourself with less hours on the job if it's a hourly job or an entry-level job, or you may see some form of harassment or some extra tasks or something like that. So let me add one in here. Maybe it's not worth the consequences of you speaking. Look, sometimes men are just trying to be good people and take on battles we don't need to take on. Hey, if the cost is so big where it's going to cost you, just because you're trying to help some other joker out, look, man, you got to take care of you first. See, here's why I say that. If you don't take care of you first, you can't take care of the people around you. If you get disabled, or if you get put out of commission, now your ability to help and to fulfill that need inside you to be one who's productive to society, you have now killed your own mission. So be careful with that. 3, wrong timing. We talked about that yesterday and Monday. So if the timing is wrong, sometimes you just need to leave it alone. Most times you do. Timing is, look at the video on timing where I discussed that if you want more details, if you hadn't seen it already. 4, they don't believe you. Hey man, when you're trying to tell somebody something, as a business education teacher, a lot of people don't believe me because I took so much time teaching others. and I didn't do some things myself because it's like, I can do that later, or I'm more interested in teaching. That ain't the best way to do things. But now that some things are happening and people who understand business know exactly what's going on. Some people don't. I remember I tried to give some folks some opportunities, and I explained to them how easy these opportunities were, and they didn't take them. And then later on, they're like, wait a minute, you still have any of those opportunities? No, because I had actually created them for certain people. Don't ever create an opportunity for a person. That will come back and bite you. You'll take your time, do your research, do your paperwork, do your leg work and your footwork, and most importantly, spend your money for a joker who says that they want an opportunity and then they'll back out. Don't do that. Create an opportunity because there's a need. And in some industries, unfortunately, be prepared if all fails and you got to do it yourself until you get built up well enough. I'm not at that point right now. I'm a solo operation, and I consult with some people. I'm working with some consultants to improve some things. But I have messed myself up temporarily trying to help other people like that. So you be very careful with who you do business with, and only create an opportunity if you can guarantee its success on your own. Otherwise, you'll have talked yourself into a situation and darn near or in reality ruined your own credibility behind someone else. All right, so basically when people don't believe you, hey, no need to keep on talking. Just go ahead and prove it with your actions. All right, now, sometimes people just don't care what you're talking about. It could be the most profound or, information that's well ahead of its time. It could be something that'll benefit them greatly, but they don't care. They just don't care. Not everybody has the same value systems. Not everybody has the same goals. And that's good, man, because at that point, save your energy, save your breath, have those conversations with people who actually do care. But don't waste time. They aren't sober. Here's another one. They aren't sober. I'll make this one real quick. Guy who I used to do ministry work with, he shared with me, he's like, hey man, don't try to minister to a drunk person. They're not in the right mind to receive any type of information, anything good for that matter. Sometimes what you're trying to share is past a person's mental capacity. It's more than they can understand. How about that? We'll say it like that. They don't understand what you're saying. Maybe they're too young. Maybe it's outside of their area of expertise. Maybe it's so new to them that they just don't get it. Now, if that's the case and somebody's trying to learn, okay, well, then you come back and you share the information with them later. But if they just simply don't get it and they don't care, like a combination of anything on this list, let it be. Some people learn by doing rather than hearing. Here you get a choice. You can adjust to demonstrate along with your speech and your dialogue, or if you don't have time or it's not within your if it's not in your favor to do so, you can demonstrate later or just let it be. That's going to depend on you if you want to continue a situation like that. How about this one? You told them twice already. So in other words, we're going back to number 5, they don't care, or number 4, they don't believe you. But, you don't need to keep saying the same thing over and over again. How about this? They don't respect you. People do business with who they like, know, and trust. People hold conversation with who they want to. But when somebody doesn't respect you, what you're saying is probably taken with a grain of salt anyway, unless that person has been taught to get information no matter who the source is. They don't value your time, or you don't value your time. Since your time is valuable, there's only so much talking you need to be doing with jokers who can't give you any information back, can't give you any value back. And you're just spreading information for free. See, people don't value what they don't pay for. I've come to find that out, and I've seen that on Erica Williams' channel, on Glenn and Cameron's channel. People who have awesome information, and they come up with low cost or free courses to help people get things moving and in order, and the people don't value what they have to say. So if you're saying something that is of lesser value than that, then it can go without saying that, if people don't pay for something, they don't value it, and you need to value your time to where you are careful with how you take it and use it for other people. Sometimes it's just not your place to say certain things. Like, for example, I have students who I have conversations with, but there are some things that they ask that I cannot speak on because that's their parents' job. It simply ain't my place to speak on it. So I don't even engage in those conversations. Now, there's been times I made that assumption, and then the parent says, no, go ahead and tell them like it is. Because I've told them already, and they don't seem to be understanding, because some people do perceive the same message differently just because it comes from someone else. Life is just like that. Let's see. Hell, maybe you're just tired of talking. Look, if you are tired of talking, stop talking. That's your key indicator. That's the guy with the little g in you, the creative aspect of you, saying, hey, it's time to shut it down for whatever reason. Look, the older you get, the less you're going to want to talk anyway. So, do it when you feel like it. Do it under. You come up with your own code. These are examples. Every man needs a code that he has to live by. You might enter a period in life where it's just time to be silent, like in the book of Ecclesiastes. There's a time to be silent. There's a time to talk. There's a time for everything. You do need to lead by example. You do need to have your own results to show at one point or another, because if what you're saying makes sense, then you do need something to show for it. And, people who are bad listeners, they'll get it eventually. If what you're saying makes sense, they'll see it eventually. However, if you're one of those bad listeners, don't be mad at somebody who tried to share information with you when it's too late and you done screwed something up beyond recognition. That's on you at that point. Hit the like button if you like the comment. Hit the dislike button if you don't like the comment. You'll always... Wait, what did I just say? If you don't like the comment? Comment content. But on that same note, if you would like to comment, go for it. I had somebody who left... they were spouting some statistics and doing that whole SBE thing about women and all this kind of stuff. I answered a woman's question yesterday, not my usual content, but okay. And somebody got in there doing the whole, trying to tell women what they should do and these percentages about slavery and this and that and the other, which may or may not have been true. But at the end of the day, that person felt like making that comment. I just thanked them for watching. I appreciate the comment, whoever you were, even though it was kind of, all over the place. But whatever, I appreciate the comments. I would like for you to share this information with anybody who you think may need it, because if you think they might need it, if it's a young man you think who might need it, he probably does. I encounter young men every day who need this type of content. That's why I make it. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive.